Greetings from Kotak Mutual Fund. All our funds, be it equity, hybrid, or fixed income and commodity, track market. They deliver positive return when underlying securities or index go up. They give negative return whenever prices fall. This is considered relative return performance. Obviously, investor wants a product where, irrespective of market condition, they can get positive return. There is no magic, there is no free lunch. However, in the month of February 25, SEBI introduced a category called Specialized Investment Fund. The objective of this fund is to generate uncorrelated return or absolute return. These funds should aim to deliver positive return irrespective of where market goes. Of course, this can't be done on a daily or a weekly basis, but on a quarterly basis, half-yearly basis, annual basis, the fund should attempt to generate uncorrelated return or absolute return. Obviously, this kind of fund requires long as well as short position. In SIF, SEBI permits to short securities or index to the extent of 25% of AUM. Shorting requires special skill, and obviously not everyone is good at that. Kotak Mutual Fund is now launching its Infinity Hybrid Long Short Fund. As the name suggests, it will focus by investing in debt as well as equity, by going long as well as shorting stocks and indices to generate uncorrelated or absolute return. Minimum investment will be 10 lakh rupee. SIF, while open for subscription on a daily business basis, will allow redemption twice on a weekly basis every Monday and Wednesday. The fund will aim to reduce downside or volatility by managing the portfolio for absolute return. It is positioned between arbitrage fund and conservative hybrid scheme from a risk-return point of view. The asset allocation of this fund, its range between 35 to 75% in equity. Within that, about 35 to 55% will be invested for arbitrage position. Up to 10% of portfolio will be invested for special situation, like in IPO, QIP, OFS, mergers and acquisition. These are short-term trades with limited upside and limited downside. Derivative strategies will be employed for up to 20% of portfolio. It will primarily focus on covered call, where you buy the cash stock and sell the options. It will also involve pair trade, where you go long one particular stock and short comparable other stock, which are deviating from their fair value based on historical averages. It will also involve option strategy like straddles and strangles, where you create a range of return by buying and selling of put and call options to ensure that as long as stock or index remains range bound, you continue to make money. Derivative strategies employed together up to 20% of portfolio will give limited upside and limited downside. The fund will also tactically take short positions when it believes market momentum is on the negative side or stocks are trading way above their historical valuation or fair value. The shorting can be done through futures, options. Care will be taken to ensure that you don't get short squeezed. As someone very clearly mentioned, markets can remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent. We will always remember that while taking short position. Between 25 to 65% portfolio will be invested in high credit quality debt, including InvITs up to 10%. This combination of arbitrage, derivative strategy, opportunistic naked equity, along with shorting and investment in high credit quality debt will create uncorrelated return profile and should aim to deliver absolute return to our unit holders. Managing special investment fund requires different mindset and special skills. We have recruited an experienced fund manager, Kalpesh Jain, to manage this fund. He will be ably supported by our experienced arbitrage fund manager, Hiten. On the debt side, they'll be supported by our head of fixed income, Abhishek Bisson. Between Kalpesh, Hiten and Abhishek, they will aim to generate uncorrelated return in this volatile markets. At Kotak Mutual Fund, we try to simulate our strategies through backtesting. At Kotak Mutual Fund, we backtest our investment strategy to ensure that when the deck hits the road, it hits running. The backtesting of hybrid long-short strategy does indicate it delivering higher risk-adjusted return compared to arbitrage fund. We look forward to your participation in Infinity Hybrid Long Short Fund. The NFO is opening on June 15th and closing on 29th of June. Do participate in our first SIF.
Investments in Specialized Investment Fund involves relatively higher risk, including potential loss of capital, liquidity risk, and market volatility. Please read all investment strategy-related documents carefully before making the investment decision.